In today's lesson, we are going to be doing order of operations with integers, which really just means that we have a whole bunch of operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, brackets, and maybe even exponents. What's an exponent, you might ask? Well, if you have 4 to the exponent 2, that means that you multiply the big number 4 2 times by itself 2 times. And the 2 is because there's a 2 up there. So 4 times 4 is 16. If you have 2 to the exponent 3, that means you multiply 2 by itself 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2. People will make the mistake of multiplying 2 times 3 here and think it's 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 once more, it's 8. Because exponents are a relatively new concept to you, I would totally encourage you to write it out like this to figure it out, or just take some thought of it. Don't just try and do it. 'Cause if you try and do it automatically, you're just going to go 4 times 2 and you're going to think it's 8, or 2 times 3 and you're going to think it's 6, which is not true. Okay, let's do some examples here. So let's start off with this one right here. 3 times negative 2 plus 7. Well, what comes first, multiplying or the addition? The addition, because it's in brackets, right? We do the brackets first. So that means that before we do anything, we have to do this. But what we need to do is that 3 needs to come down, and we need to write like that 3 times. We have to write like this. So now, what's negative 2 plus 7? 5. So it's 3 times 5, and 3 times 5 is 15. You need to show your work like this. Some of you were doing some weird ways of showing your work before, where you're only dealing with this and you're forgetting about this. You can't do that. You need to show your work like this. This is going to be the way you're going to need to show your work once you go to grade 9. Question B, here we go. We have multiplying, and we have this little 2 up front, which means it's an exponent. What comes first? The exponent. So we go ahead and write the negative 3 down, and the multiplication symbol for that matter. What's negative 2 times itself? Positive 4. Giddy up, it sure is. And what's negative 3 times positive 4? Fantastic. And again, this is not going to be a surprise to you either, but you need to show your work. If you don't show your work, even if you get the right answer, you will not get full credit for these questions. Next up, we have a question that has a big fraction like this. This big fraction, what operation do you think that means? Division, correct. You can also think of this as negative 11 plus 3 in brackets, all divided by 4 minus 5, all in brackets. And that will force you to do the top and the bottom first, and then do the dividing. So what's negative 11 plus 3? Negative 8. Good. And 4 minus 5 is? Negative 1. So we have negative 8 divided by negative 1. Bentley, what would that be?
Negative 9. Negative 8 minus negative 1.
No, negative 8 divided by negative 1.
Divided 8.
Thank you.
I didn't divided.
And there we go.
Oh, you're trying to equal positive.
Next one. For this next one, I want you to consider this. This is one big bracket here and one big bracket here. These numbers are in brackets, but that's not really like a bracket. These brackets here are telling us to do everything here and then multiply by 5. So I've kind of given you a little bit of a spoiler. We're doing this first, and then we're going to multiply by 5. But there are 2 things to do in here. We're multiplying and we're adding. What comes first?
Why is there brackets?
Multiplying. So we're going to do that multiplying. What's 4 times negative 2? So it's negative 8 plus negative 6 times 5. And we're not quite done, because we still have to finish off what's inside that bracket and multiply it by 5. So what do we get when we add those numbers together in the bracket? Negative 14. And now we're just going to go negative 14 times 5 which is negative 70.